Yes, my name is Dmitry and you're watching Nightingale Works. In this video I'm gonna show you how I made my first diorama ever. I'm not an artist, but I decided to try a new thing, and in this video we're gonna see how it turned out. So without wasting more of our time, let's jump to the project. So this is a story about two people and a cat who lived happily in a very small house despite cancer on the second year of immigration to the foreign country, with no family and with 1,000 of cash in a pocket to start a new life full of joy. This is gonna be a diorama of a mobile home me and my wife owned for about 2 years, and we had it located in Palm Harbor, Florida. Even if technically it wasn't real estate, it was just a mobile home standing in a mobile home park, and we still had to pay rent for the lot. But again, that's the very first place we ever was able to call our own, because right before that we changed quite a bit of rentals. It's an annoying feeling when you can't really change anything about the place you live in, and for me, the person that likes projects and want to change the environment all the time, it was quite annoying that I wasn't able to. And this was the very first place I did a lot of projects in. We don't live in this house now, and we had to sell it and move forward, which is a good thing, but still there is a lot of warm memories connected to it. Luckily, I had a very detailed plan of this house in my phone. The very first day we bought it, I made it, and I can use these plans to build this diorama more precise. I'm not gonna get too detailed in my narration of what I'm actually doing on this video. That's the first diorama I'm doing. I'm not an expert, I'm not even a person who you should ask for advice. I'm just sharing with you my experience and how it went. The process was very challenging. In the most of cases I didn't really know what to do. I saw a bunch of videos about making dioramas, and only few of those artists actually explained what they're doing and what materials they are using. I gathered just the pieces of information from here and there. I bought some supplies. I tried to look for the cheapest one, so let's say the base of this house is a foam board from Dollar Tree. I tried to use the cheapest paints, the cheapest glue, everything I was able to get to without spending a lot of money. Also worth noticing that on a video it might look like I'm really well know what I'm doing, but in reality, to get this look for this video I had to cut so much crap. There was so much footage of me just sitting and staring at the projects and actually not knowing what to do next. There was a couple times when I was so desperate I just put the project away, tried to forget it for some time, because very often I had a feeling that I'm just gonna toss it to the garbage can and forget about it. But luckily I didn't do that. I was patient enough, and I gathered all of my power of will to stay with the project and finish it till the end. When you finally go over that edge, you get your mind together and you start to get in a process, it brings you a lot of joy. And when you finally see that your work for today or for last week starting to get together, that something is worth of all of these challenges. With a complex project like this, there was different periods. Sometimes I really knew what to do, like with the building process, you just take the foam, cut it to the shape, and you start stacking it with the hot glue. But sometimes you just stuck in one place, you don't know what to do next. Which little detail have to be built next. With a project like this, you have to think forward, you have to make your plan and think carefully in which order you're going to make this happen. In the end, I will show you the comparison between the diorama I made and the house we had. Luckily, we had our different channel with our vlogs, and we used to vlog about buying this house, about making changes to it, renovating and making projects to improve the house. And thanks to that, we have a lot of different videos of this place. Later on in this video, we're gonna be able to actually compare the real size place and my diorama. You might notice that my speech sounds weird. That's because I have an accent. And I have an accent because I was born and raised in Ukraine. Me and my wife moved to United States almost 5 years ago, and since then we started our whole new life in America. I can guess right now you know a lot about Ukraine for some specific sad reasons, and I'm happy that Ukraine gets all of the attention it deserves. That's a wonderful country. I'm proud to be from there, but it also has a lot of its own problems. Let's say Putin is a big problem, but that's not the only problem. Ukraine is a developing country, and being a developing country, that means we are not quite in that place as European countries and like United States or Canada or Australia or other big and rich countries. Living in Ukraine is connected to a lot of challenges which you have to overcome every day, and my life there wasn't easy. I am from not rich family at all, same as my wife, and at some point of time we decided to try to build a whole new life in a different country. Since we spent one summer by work and travel program in Texas, we fell in love with the United States and we put a lot of effort in moving. Immigration is very not an easy thing to do. You basically have to learn so much information that you could become a PhD in just knowing how to fill up the applications, where to go, which people talk to. You have to used to a lot of stuff. You get into a whole new world and everything is new for you. But in our case, we didn't have any family here, we didn't have much friends. We just have to bite in and go through all of the challenges, fight for every day, used to a new life. We didn't know language very well. We were basically understanding people but didn't talk very well. Luckily now, a few years later, it feels much more comfortable, it feels easier, and I'm actually see United States as my home. It just feels that way. It feels right to stay in the United States, and that's where we're probably gonna stay for the rest of our lives. When we finally get to United States, we almost had no money. We had around $1,000 for two of us, me and my wife, and we spent 700 of them right away to rent a room. Luckily for us, we met extraordinary person. She became our angel keeper and she helped us like 1,000 times since the first day we met. We are still a very good friends. With this $300 left, I found the job the very next day after I came to United States. We had a very low needs. We didn't need much. We just step by step kept working. My wife also found a job, and penny by penny, slowly, we get on our own feet. First, I worked as a butcher in a small family shop owned by a Greek family, and they were super cool and very nice to help me out. Later on, I found a job in a construction company, and I was very proud to work in a master restoration. I worked as a technician assistant, and we helped people out to deal with water damage, mold damage, fire damage, and all kind of that. I enjoyed working in this company very much. We worked really long hours, sometimes up to 60-70 hours per week. We didn't sleep much. That was a hard working time, but really joyful time. I worked in a fantastic team of people who was so dedicated to their job. I was hoping I'm gonna stay in that company for many years and I will try to grow my way up, but my life decided to take a different turn. After about half a year of working in this company and on the second year of my living in the United States, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's cancer in the lymph nodes, and later on I've been told by my oncologist that I had a 4-inch big tumor in my chest, right between my lungs. Because it was stage 4, I had to leave my job right away and start chemotherapy, which was the hardest and same time the most inspiring time in my life. Let's just say that chemotherapy sucks. There's a lot of things I can say about, but I probably won't, because this video then will turn out to 4 hours long, and we don't want that, and we want to keep this video positive. So instead of saying how I suffered from chemotherapy, I'm gonna tell you a different story. As I said before, me and my wife, we had a different channel on YouTube in which we were telling people from the eastern part of the world how is life going for a person who decided to move from their home country to the whole new place. And on this channel we were very honest. We were telling people about all of the stuff we see on our ways, all of the challenges we have to overcome. This channel started from how to fill out the certain application, and later on it turned out what kind of food in the United States, what kind of people live in there, how to find a job in this country, and all of this everyday stuff for Americans, but very new for the people who don't live there. And when that video came out in which I said that I was diagnosed with cancer, I'm gonna start my fight with this disease, I'm gonna spend at least half a year going through the chemotherapy and fighting for my life and for my health. People who watched my channel was super cool. I wasn't expecting that kind of support. At that point of time on that channel we had about 20,000 people. And the day we told them that I was diagnosed with cancer and I'm expecting a long fight with this disease, that I'm gonna spend at least half a year not working, going through the chemotherapy, those people made me feel like I'm a rock star. I never expected that someone can get so much support and so much help from complete strangers, and they were just watching my channel, just looking what I'm doing, just hearing what I'm saying. And same time as being super unlucky person to get cancer at 25 years of age, same time I felt the most lucky person to have this kind of support and to have this kind of people around me. The whole time going through chemotherapy and radiation, I also had my wife next to me, also was my angel keeper. She helped me a lot. I don't know how I would survive this without her. And also this outstanding community of people who lived in the same mobile home park as we did. There was mainly retired people. They showed us so much kindness and so much love and so much support. There's nothing but good I can say about that place and about all of those people. That's the reason why the memories about this house sometimes is still painful, but same time the most inspiring and the most magical. One of the biggest projects I made for this house and all of my neighbors was excited about, that's a granite pieces walkway. When I worked at the restoration company, there was a lot of kitchen removals and we used to take a lot of granite countertops out. In most of cases they were already broken and we just tossed them away. I knew that nobody wants them. I asked my management and they let me take as much pieces as I wanted. So I used those granite pieces to make the most colorful and pretty walkway in our park. I was very proud about that project. It turned out very pretty, so I want to show it on my diorama as well. I get an advice from my wife who actually advised me to paint some pieces of paper first and then cut the pieces out of it, so it's gonna look a lot like pieces of the granite. I was able to recreate all kinds of colors of the granite and its awesome texture. After I glued it on in place, I covered it with a Mod Podge. When it dries off, it becomes absolutely clear and it gets this shiny, glassy look. It was a key to making those pieces of paper look just like granite. We had this grassy yard around us, so I painted base into the green, which I didn't do a really good job. And I also bought this cheapest flocker on Amazon and couple bags of flocking, which looks just like grass. And that's also one of the things that makes most of dioramas look so real. We had a lot of trees around our place. Of course, from trees there's also fallen branches, leaves and stuff like that. I found these little branches just outside of my house. After they dried out, it looked a lot like branches. It helped me to make my diorama don't look so clean and sterile. Now you see me trying to make my own mulch, so I just painted piece of paper in one solid color, brownish reddish, and fill it in the places where mulch was. At the point of time I started to make this diorama, I already started my own Etsy shop, so I had this laser cutter and engraving machine. I was able to use it for building more geometrical objects, like this little grill and a couple tables. I planted all of this marigolds in front of the house, and they grew up unexpectedly big, and they become very specific accent to our house, and they stayed for so long that I decided to put them on diorama as well. Usually such small details like specific bushes and separate leaves sold in hobby shops already packed. All you have to do just take it out and put it in place. I was really into making my own. Maybe my diorama turning out a bit sloppy and childish, but I'm really happy how it turned out in the end. I also decided to make couple clay people. You can guess who is this. One of them is me, and the second one is my wife. And there's one more little character, that's our cat Petrushka in her pocket. I didn't expect to have those figures even close to realistic. I knew that I'm not gonna be able to sculpt them very well. I also knew that I'm not gonna be able to paint them really well. So from the very beginning I knew they're gonna look like very, very basic humans. I was expecting to have them look even worse than they came out. I must admit that I'm not an artist. I don't know much about painting and using paints and mixing paints, color theory and stuff like that, and started to paint this project just the way I felt. I just bought the pack of low-cost acrylic paints. I also used the cheapest brushes I was able to find, as a lot of people who's making dioramas keep saying that brushes in this process is basically something you're gonna destroy, so you never need expensive brushes, you better use the cheapest one. Those weird boxes next to the house, those actually are raised beds. When I was diagnosed and I started to spend more time at home, we started watching endless videos about people homesteading, people trying to grow their own food and spending more time at home, working on a farmland and stuff like that. And at that point of time I kinda made it my own dream, and I decided that when I'm going to get well, I will try to achieve something like that for myself. I also found some used boards on a Facebook marketplace which people were just giving away for free, and using that I built those raised beds, and we planted some beans, some leaf ladders and stuff like that into those boxes. Does it look for you like it's not enough work for the first diorama? I also added a sloppy replica of our first car. So yes, this diorama is a lot about the first things in our lives. So it's our first house and our first car ever. I learned how to drive in the United States, and that's the car we bought on our own. We had to save money several months, but buying a car did open a new chapter in our lives in America. Now, when all of the work is done and we're ready to go to the beauty shots, there is one more thing I would like to tell you. Just a year ago, I even didn't dream about staying at home, working from home and doing projects like that. But then, after a lot of hard work and many sales, I'm proud to invite you to visit my and my wife's Etsy shop. It calls Nightingale Works Art. We put a lot of work into it and we're really proud of it. There is a lot of things you can find useful and you can use it as a wonderful personal gift to your loved ones or just a self-treat. You can find the link in the description. Please go visit the shop, and if you like something, there's gonna be no better help to this channel and just to our family than if you're gonna buy something from us. Now when we cover that, let's go to the beauty shots. This is a story about two people and a cat who lived happily in a very small house, despite cancer, on the second year of immigration to the foreign country, with no family and with 1,000 of cash in the pocket, to start a new life full of joy. Yes, this is how I remember those special times. Me and my wife living in a tiny house with our very loud cat, spending as much time together as we can, cherishing every moment we have, not taking for granted every next day, because now we know that life is short, full of surprises, and you never know where it's gonna turn next. Yes, at that time we had a lot of worries, a lot of struggle. I had to go through the chemotherapy, it was a challenge, suffering through the side effects, feeling broken almost all the time, but same time having hope, having amazing community around us, meeting incredible people every day who was trying to help in any way they could. With a lot of fear, there was still a lot of hope. This is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about my diorama. Tell me about your project you wasn't ready to start, but you did anyway, and tell me how it turned out. My name is Dmitry, this is Nightingale Works. Thank you so much for watching, see you next time, bye.